Recording in progress.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, healthy conversations. Eliza Kingsford here. And today's topic came from a question from one of you. And the question was quite long and detailed, so I'm just going to summarize here. Essentially, she was saying that she has been working on her weight and body image for quite some time and is looking to find success that she's never had before. And the way that she defines success is to live in what I call sort of your happiest and healthiest weight, meaning the weight that you can maintain in your life that feels happiest and healthiest to you. Happiest meaning you are thriving from the inside. You are peace or ease or empowerment or confidence or joy, whatever it is, right? Happiest, and then theist, right? Meaning, can you thrive and be well emotionally as well as thrive and be well physically, right? And this weight looks different for everybody. What's important to me is that we're not just looking to do anything we can to get to a number on the scale, and then it's something that's not sustainable. It makes us unhappy. It's really difficult to get there. We can't sustain it. So it's really important to me that we've got the happiest and healthiest, right? Most of you have heard me talk about that before, and you know what that means. For her, she's looking to find her happiest and healthiest weight. And where she is right now, she does not feel happy or healthy, meaning her body shape and size is one that doesn't make her feel healthy. She feels like she's carrying more weight than would be the healthiest option for her, as well as it's not making her happy emotionally, right? There's a whole host of things in context that come with that. She's talking about joining the shift in the fall. So the question is, she has said, I've worked with a number of people and I keep getting mixed messages. She has tried everything. Nothing has worked for her yet. And the latest attempt was with a dietitian who comes from the health at every size, intuitive eating, sort of body positive space, right? She had tried all kinds of things to lose weight in the past. They have not been sustainable for her. So she's sort of tried this health at every size, body positive space, who really, really tout that intentional weight loss is ineffective and does not work for people. So therefore, we should stop doing intentional weight loss and work on sort of this acceptance and really making an argument for why we need to let go of the desire to lose weight and instead work on sort of compassion and acceptance and loving ourselves where we are. So her question to me was this, and this is what I'm saying, there was sort of a lot of context to it. It was a lot of context to it. So her question to me was this: my last dietitian, who she's not working with anymore, when she would bring up the things that she felt like she wanted to do to get to this happiest and healthiest weight, the dietitian would point out how those things are steeped in diet culture. Okay, this is my topic today. That dietitian said those things are steeped in diet culture, so we need to give those up. For example, a couple of those things were she would talk about tracking or monitoring her food, and the dietitian would say those are steeped in diet culture. Here's why. She would talk about, how often should I weigh myself? The dietitian would say those are steeped in diet culture. Here's why. She said, I hear you telling me that there's health at every size, but I kind of want to lose weight. And the dietitian would say, that's steeped in diet culture. Here's why. And so she was asking me how I felt about this. Is that diet culture? Something doesn't feel right here. So as you know me, part of my stance on this is ever the contrarian. Although I'm trying to be contrarian. Once you hear me explain this, you'll figure out why. There has been a misconception about what diet culture is. And I think it's incredibly important, as evidenced by this question that came to me. It's really important that we make the distinction about what diet culture is and what it is not. Diet culture, to be oversimplistic with it, is a set of beliefs. Diet culture is a set of beliefs about the value of thinness and the value of what your weight represents. Diet culture is a belief system. It puts undue value on thinness equating to goodness. Okay, again, it's an oversimplification, right? But it puts undue value on thin equals good, right? And that weight is, I'm not going to say bad, but weight is undesirable, or weight is somehow less than or less worthy. That's what diet culture is. Okay, it's a set of beliefs about bodies, and it sort of overemphasizes the look and appearance and size and shape of bodies. That's what diet culture is. So when someone is sort of comparing two people and deciding that this person is more worthy than this person based on their shape or size, that's diet culture. You hear me? It's a set of beliefs or values, okay? But what has happened as people sort of try to fight diet culture or spread the word about diet culture, and please hear me when I say that set of beliefs and values is incredibly damaging. That set of beliefs and values, that particular piece of diet culture, has no place in our society anywhere, right? And we need to dismantle that. Having that set of beliefs and values that the size and shape of bodies equate to worthiness. I'm oversimplifying it here, but right? Size of weight and shape of bodies equates to worthiness. That needs to go. I am behind that 100%. Okay. But what has happened is that we have extrapolated that set of beliefs and we have overgeneralized that and labeled things as diet culture inappropriately so. Okay. So for example, for the woman who asked me this question, and this is for you, okay? Stepping on the scale is not in and of itself diet culture. It's not. The scale is a tool. Your relationship to that tool is what makes it diet culture. So your nutritionist saying to you that is steeped in diet culture. Maybe, but also maybe not. The scale is a tool. It's a piece of plastic that reports to you your relationship with gravity in that moment, okay? How you feel about the scale, what happens for you emotionally in conjunction with the scale, your relationship that you have with the scale is what makes it steeped in diet culture or not. For example, a few months ago, actually, I took one of my groups through the process, and we had done a lot of work together. They were, alumni of the ship. They'd gone through all the foundational course material. These were alumni members, right? In a really healthy place, physically and emotionally. And they're all over the place with their size and shape. Doesn't matter. They're in that happiest and healthiest place, right? They were ready to do a challenge with the scale. And their challenge with the scale was to step on it every single day. Every single day. And the point of it was not to look at the outcome, right? The point of it was not to get attached to what it was saying. The whole point of it was to detach from what it was saying. And we did this very methodical challenge, how to release the scale's hold on our emotional well-being, okay? And through this process, many, many, many of the members had an incredible experience saying, oh my gosh, my fear of the scale is gone. It's just a tool. It provides data. I watched how, things fluctuate, and there's, how things didn't make sense sometimes, and how the biology works and the physiology works. It was so freeing, right? But one of the huge narratives out there, because the scale, weighing yourself is diet culture, one of the huge narratives out there is that you need to smash your scale and throw it away. And the scale is diet culture. The scale is a tool. The scale is neutral. The scale is a piece of plastic. What you attach to it, what you attribute to it, and your relationship with it is the thing that makes it steeped in diet culture or not. If you are stepping on the scale and deciding your worthiness for the day, diet culture. If you're stepping on the scale as a way to collect data and keep yourself accountable to some goal that you've set for yourself, not diet culture. If you are not impacted negatively by that tool, not diet culture. Let's take another example. Another common one I hear is tracking food, right? Using food trackers or macros or monitoring something, tracking food in some way, okay? Tracking food in and of itself is not diet culture. Tracking food is a tool, right? It's just a different methods for doing something, doing an action. My action is tracking. The method, macros, MyFitnessPal, Noom, whatever, is a tool to complete my action. That's it. Your emotional relationship to tracking is what makes it diet culture or not. If you feel restricted, deprived, if your worthiness shifts and changes, if your nervous system gets dysregulated, if you have an emotional reaction that creates a really bad day and a weekend, diet culture, steeped in diet culture, the set of beliefs and ideas that your weight somehow equates to worthiness. That's diet culture. The action itself is not diet culture. Okay. So I'll bring this all home to my original point about this isn't contrarian for me. This is actual, well, I'll bring that home in a second. So the act of tracking, not diet culture. Plenty of people, thousands, millions of people, in fact, will monitor and track their food intake somehow in some way every day and feel empowered, confident, strong, peace, joy, structured, really positive things in the context of tracking. That's not diet culture. That's using a tool for, again, accountability, awareness, consistency, whatever you want to use it for. Your relationship to it is the thing that determines whether it's steeped in diet culture or not. Your beliefs and values about your body and self-worth determine whether it's diet culture or not. So to bring this all the way back around, here's what I want to say. If the practitioners who, I don't want to say claim, but advertise, market themselves as health at every size and intuitive eating and body positive, if those practitioners are labeling actions as diet culture and trying to convince you to change your mind or change your action because it's diet culture, then they don't understand what diet culture is. And here's why I don't believe that we're actually on opposite sides of this. Like, they will believe that I'm on opposite sides because I will help people with intentional weight loss if that's what they want. As people have heard me say many times, the weight is pretty unimportant to me. And you can probably hear why, right? Because what I talked about today was your relationship to those things, right? Your value, your self-worth. If they really understood diet culture and weight and things like that, I think that they would understand we are actually on the same side. Because the way I look at it is that as health practitioners, our job is to help everyone find their happiest and healthiest version of themselves. And it's none of our business what size that is. Losing weight, gaining weight, it doesn't matter. If it's the happiest and healthiest version of themselves, right? If they are in alignment, my students know it as vibrational alignment, emotional regulation, up at the top of the cone, downstream vibration. These are all sort of like lingo that we start to use. If you are in alignment and you're doing that consistently, that's what all health practitioners should want. Whether you label yourself as health at every size or body positive or intuitive, what we should be helping people do is finding their pathway to their happiest and healthiest, most aligned version of themselves. And that should not include us as practitioners telling them what they can and cannot do. You can't step on the scale. You can't track your food. You can't intentionally want to lose weight. Why would we do that, right? Well, our job is to help them find their happiest and healthiest version of themselves. And if that includes some of these tools, great. My job is to make sure that they're not using the tool from a diet culture lens. My job is to help them emotionally and mentally reorganize so that if they step on the scale, it becomes data. Just data. I'm looking at the data. Oh, interesting. On with my day. That's my job. And I'm going to venture out to say that because people maybe don't know how to help people, extract that emotional attachment to the scale, they'll make a rule and say, you just can't step on it. And I say, you can do whatever you want with it, but I'm going to help you make sure you're doing it in a way that feels aligned for you, that doesn't impact you negatively, that doesn't then impact how you live the rest of your life and the rest of your day. That's my job. So I don't care what tool you use whatever tool you want. And this happens all the time with my clients. They'll come to me with all kinds of things. I'm doing, Wegovy or Orlistat, or what's the one they do? Optavia or Slim Fast or what? I don't care. I don't care. It does it because it shouldn't bother me. The only thing that I need to focus on is, are you aligned physically, mentally, emotionally? Are you well? Right? And I have ways to determine whether or not people are feeling aligned like that, right? And if you're well and aligned, it's great. Use whatever tool you want. It's none of my business, right? So, going off on a tangent here. The point in this, the big takeaway here is actions such as tracking, programs, diets, scales, intentional weight loss, weightlifting, CrossFit, running, whatever. Actions are not diet culture. The belief systems and the impact and relationship to those actions might have diet culture attached to them. And that's where the work is. So don't let anybody tell you not to take an action. Instead, a truly skilled practitioner should be helping you find and sort through the actions that feel aligned with finding your happiest and healthiest life. Okay, I hope that answered your question today. I will see you all next week for Healthy Conversations. As always, you can submit a question to me and I will likely answer it like this in video format. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. I put these up every week. If you're watching this live with me on Facebook, thanks for being here. Let me just check to make sure there's no comments I'm missing today. All set. I'll see you all next week.